The Soul Knight stood imposingly, his entire body enveloped by a sinister green energy. Facing that formidable power, Hyrkan remained unfazed. Alongside the skeleton warrior beside him, he flashed a determined smile, making a vow to himself that there would be no dinner if he couldn't secure victory. Without a moment's hesitation, the Soul Knight spontaneously forged a new arm from a blade-sharp stream of orange magical light. Hyrkan felt extremely annoyed by the knight's indifferent attitude after losing an arm. After a deep breath, he ordered his skeletal warriors to charge. The skeletal army rushed towards the tall opponent, in red armor. The Soul Knight retaliated with another strange green energy blast, colliding with Hyrkan's attack and creating a terrifying explosion. The ground shattered, flinging massive boulders into the air. Hyrkan landed lightly amidst the shower of rock fragments, realizing the enemy intended to bury them all alive under the rubble. He shouted a new command to his skeletal warriors, who quickly leaped over the rocky chaos. At the same time, Hyrkan also charged towards the Soul Knight, which was unprepared for an attack from behind. Hyrkan's teal energy clashed violently with the Soul Knight's purple power, creating a terrifying explosion. Meanwhile, the skeletons also charged simultaneously from multiple directions, coordinating their attacks, forcing the opponent into a pincer movement. Realizing his strategy was effective, Hyrkan became even more resolute. He believed that by continuing to inflict damage in this manner, victory would surely be his. Immediately after, his fiery attack struck its target, leaving the Soul Knight struggling immensely to defend against attacks from multiple directions. Just when he thought he had gained the upper hand, Hyrkan was stunned to see the Spirit Knight, instead of being destroyed, erupt into a fierce halo of fire. The radiating energy blasted away and incinerated the surrounding skeleton warriors. Hyrkan realized his opponent was not only not defeated, but had become much stronger than before. The knight, now blazing in fire, immediately counterattacked fiercely. Hyrkan struggled to raise his sword to parry, sensing the enemy's power and attack style had completely changed. As he strained to defend, a powerful attack, like a fireball, suddenly lunged forward. He continued to command the skeleton warriors to charge. However, that moment of distraction created an opening. A massive, fiery, cross-shaped attack struck Hyrkan directly, creating a huge explosion that blasted Hyrkan backward. Wounded, he realized his mistake was being too focused on controlling the skeleton warriors and neglecting his defense. Meanwhile, the flames from the knight continued with the next attack. This could be the finishing blow for Hyrkan. While Hyrkan was still wounded, the Soul Knight swung its blazing weapon, aiming to finish Hyrkan off. Suddenly, the skeleton knight timely interposed itself, taking the full force of the enemy's assault, saving Hyrkan's life. Hyrkan was stunned upon receiving the notification that one of his subordinates had been destroyed. It began to disintegrate in a blue light, having sustained too much damage. Before vanishing completely, it raised a thumb up as a final salute. Powerlessly watching his companions fall one by one, Hyrkan lay on the ground, his eyes filled with rage, staring directly at the enemy. Engulfed in rage, Hyrkan unleashed a desperate attack, forming a colossal bone bomb. Instantly, a horrific explosion engulfed the Soul Knight in a sea of fire and chaotic energy. Amidst the tremendous pressure, Hyrkan still swung his sword, his body contorting from exertion. With a wound on his face and gritted teeth, he told himself to endure just a little longer. In what seemed like a desperate moment, Hyrkan launched a barrage of bone bombs towards the Soul Knight. A massive purple energy explosion erupted, engulfing the enemy. Nevertheless, Hyrkan realized the explosion's power was insufficient to finish off his opponent, and he needed to attack once more. However, before he could act, a fiery attack from the Soul Knight sped towards him at terrifying speed. Hyrkan couldn't dodge. Amidst the dust and smoke, he looked up at his foe and posed a loaded question. With a confident smile, Hyrkan revealed that he was fully aware of spirit-type monsters resisting magic damage. He mocked his opponent for underestimating his plan to use bone bombs. He explained that it was part of the strategy, as he had secretly mixed skeletal fragments into the bombs. Despite his injuries, Hyrkan focused his energy and activated a new skill. From the scattered bone fragments on the battlefield, he summoned his army to its maximum. A numerous legion of skeletons rose, quickly surrounding the Spirit Knight. Hyrkan decisively declared the battle had reached its end. Immediately after, by his command, the entire skeleton army charged simultaneously, closing in on the Soul Knight from all sides. Surrounded by overwhelming numbers, the knight could not withstand the continuous attacks. Seizing the opportunity, Hyrkan lunged forward, swinging his sword to deliver a powerful slash. This final attack completely finished off the opponent. The Soul Knight's body shattered, turning into particles of light before vanishing. Simultaneously, a series of notifications appeared before Hyrkan. He received a large amount of gold, a new title, a piece of armor, and a substantial amount of experience points for his feat. The abundant experience instantly helped him level up, and a surge of blue energy enveloped his body. After the battle, Hyrkan suddenly reflected on the past. Memories of an old friend flooded back, along with bitter accusations that he had led them all to their deaths, that they could never defeat a soul knight. Returning to reality, he looked down at the fallen skeletal warriors from the recent battle. However, one skeletal warrior in red armor still showed the will to fight, clenching its fist. A faint smile formed on Hyrkan's lips. He realized how much had changed since before. He stood tall, looking at the skeletal army kneeling before him, and praised their efforts. Amidst the rejoicing skeleton warriors, Hyrkan realized something was amiss. He couldn't leave the dungeon. He was momentarily worried, thinking another boss monster might appear. Immediately after, the entire room began to shake violently. Instead of a new enemy, another path revealed itself before him. Hyrkan was stunned to realize this was a randomly appearing reward room. Inside the brilliantly glowing gate, a treasure chest awaited. Hyrkan screamed with joy, thanking the supreme beings after discovering the treasure room. His skeleton soldiers also jumped up, celebrating with their master. The young man's face lit up with excitement. He began to ponder the wonderful rewards he could receive. Perhaps gold, a powerful weapon, or a rare skill book. He told himself that whatever the reward, he was ready to accept it. Unexpectedly, an old, thick book appeared in his hand. The radiant smile on Hyrkan's lips suddenly vanished, replaced by a look of astonishment. He looked down at the item he had just received, realizing it was a research log about an ancient power. He knew this book was related to the main questline. However, a thought flashed through his mind. He had read it countless times in his previous life and knew every detail by heart. Hyrkan clutched his head and screamed in frustration, deeming the item received from the reward room useless and wishing for money or better weapons. However, his anger was quickly replaced by surprise as he realized the true nature of the quest book before him. In Purung Forest, Hyrkan felt powerful enough, after leveling up, and decided it was time to return to the main questline. With a determined smile, he summoned his skeletons, ready for the challenge ahead. The Bone Warriors were extremely excited in their new armor. They posed proudly with their shimmering red equipment. Hyrkan observed his army, secretly understanding their eagerness, for he himself hadn't expected to receive such a reward. It was a superior skill, allowing him to equip his own items onto the skeleton army. Hyrkan realized that he could now upgrade their power regardless of his level. A satisfied smile appeared behind his mask, but he quickly faced reality. He looked at his meager purse, knowing that the cost to acquire all necessary equipment would be astronomical. Hyrkan told the skeletons they had better prove their worth, or he would leave them behind. Suddenly, applause echoed from ahead. A strange voice commented on the Ha-Ho mask, and confirmed Hyrkan was exactly as the rumors described. 3 figures emerged from the shadows. A muscular man in the group asked Hyrkan if he wondered who they were, before another dramatically declared that they were those who lived and died for romance. A flashy and gaudy spectacle emerged, with the appearance of 3 strangers. One of them declared themselves to be the R2 clan, Dandy Outlaws. Witnessing this, Hyrkan showed contempt. He believed this game was full of eccentrics. Their appearance annoyed him so much, he just wanted to quit the game immediately.